Hello, world. Welcome back. I'm Goddess Dawn. It is Saturday, September 5th, 2020, and I'm live. welcome. Good to see you all. Good to see you, JC. Wings from Team Truth. Welcome back. Miss Kim, Sister Warrior. Yes, welcome. I know it's Sunday for many of you who are in the mid and on the east, but it's still late night here in LA. So it's still Saturday night. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing well. If I see you here, that gives me great pleasure because I know you're obviously too. So I'm talking about a couple things this evening. Shout out to anybody in the bushes that is hanging out with me, as well as shout out to you in the replay. I always appreciate you. What's up, Sis Ree? Yes, Virgo season. Shout out to all the Virgos. That means you, Mama, because without you, where there will be no me. So, yes, birthday's coming up. So let's see here. What are we talking about first? Let me look at my notes because I'm trying to give a few minutes. There's a couple people I'm waiting on, kind of, sort of. But again, welcome, Nikki Baby. Welcome back. You guys are up late. It's Saturday night, huh? Is that it? Thank you for the bell, JC. Yeah, let's get some bells up in here. Let's celebrate. It's Labor Day. It's a holiday weekend. It's the weekend. You know, we're alive and we're here. We're breathing. Hopefully, we're all COVID free. Knocking and ringing. Yeah. So yeah, it's quiet. This is when I like to go live, you know. YouTube streets are not as hot. I've been seeing some things though, some real interesting things in these YouTube streets. They ain't no joke. I hope those of you who are hopping from toxic channel to toxic channel are protecting your peace so that you don't absorb all that negativity. It's very easy to do. Yeah. We're talking about protecting your peace in this moment. YouTube is so toxic and draining if you do too much. So, but I did see some very interesting things. I'll get into that stuff later. But let's talk about R. Kelly, R. Smelly, or R. Jelly, as I saw someone called him recently. His attacker is in the news. Yep. His attacker is in the news. That sounds crazy. His attacker is in the news. But maybe I should read what they're saying so I can get the full story out here. I was just kind of give what I know about it off top. Hold on. Let me look this up. While you waiting on me, go ahead and hit that like button, please. It does help. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit the bell also. And for those of you who are subscribed and who don't get notifications, which I know that happens, I'm told if you unclick the bell and then re-click the bell, and you need to click it on all notifications. That should help. Yeah. All right, let me look this fool up. So yeah, it's been reported that R. Kelly's alleged attacker identifies himself, and I think it's important to emphasize the word alleged. I have my theories. I have not been secretive about them, and I will get back right into those things after let me read some of this. R. Kelly's alleged attacker just ID'd himself in court documents, claiming that he's the one who beat up R. Kelly behind bars, and he has gang ties and murders on his record. Jeremiah Shane Farmer filed legal docs obtained by TMZ, of course, claiming he's pissed off. He's the pissed off inmate who went on the attack and jumped Kelly in his jail cell. So in the docs, it says that Farmer claims, quote, the government made me attack, end quote, Kelly, although he doesn't explain why, and says he pulled it off in hopes of shedding light on government corruption. As for what the corruption is, he feels he was done dirty by the justice system. Does that sound familiar? So, I don't know. I have always said since I'm hearing this story that I think R. Kelly himself is behind this stunt. And all this does is really confirm that for me. I think that R. Kelly and his team staged this, but probably realized it was a bad idea after it backfired. So now this story gets planted, and I find that very curious. Who has the plug at TMZ for TMZ to be reporting this? Who has the plug at TMZ? Who do they interview? Last I remember, it was Joycelyn. And who would be connecting Joycelyn with TMZ? Would it be the government? Would it be the Savages who she doesn't speak to? Or would it be R. Kelly? And his people. What do you? Hi, Priscilla. Welcome for joining. I appreciate you all spending your time here. JC says Greenberg. Yeah, I put them all together in this cahoots. I feel that obviously who's this a better look for? Is it a good look for the government at all to have this man saying that the government did this and he doesn't have any explanation? We're just taking his word. He's definitely a guy full of integrity, right? And morals, and somebody we can trust, right? They say he has murders. He has F the feds on his forehead tattooed. You think that R. Kelly or somebody that knew R. Kelly saw that on this dude in jail and was like, you know what? He hate the feds just like you do. He don't have nothing to lose either, but he want to get a little more commissary and maybe a little more, I don't know, a little more juice back here. So R. Kelly might have, gave him a little extra, little something, and was like, you know what, you do this for me, I got you. That's what I see. I really do think this is yet more BS from the Bumbling Fools, also called R. Kelly's defense team, or even more likely R. Kelly himself. Seriously, how much did he pay or promise the guy to pull this stunt? For real. I know I'm not alone. I can't be alone with this theory. Let's see in the chat here. Miss Kim says, I see that it could be Don Russ, as you say. JC says, every time something comes up that may be in favor of Kelly, it gets leaked to TMZ that it's Greenberg. Okay, so Greenberg has the plug. Okay, yeah, exactly. I'm just, opening up some perspectives. I know a lot of people are real eager to jump on this story that it's the prosecute the feds. The feds made me do it, but I'm not going to tell y'all why. I'm not going to tell y'all who, when, where. That's all I got to say. Now, R. Kelly, pay me my whatever it is he's getting paid in. What is he getting paid in? Is he getting paid in what's the big commissary hit? Ramen, cigarettes? I mean, or is it more of a something on a sexual nature? Nikki said, I'm not alone. Lee said she thinks Don Russell deals with TMZ too. So Don Russell is getting some the votes. I should have do a poll, huh? Maybe I'll do that on my community following the live. Who is behind the story that R. Kelly's supposed or alleged attacker was sent by the feds? And he's talking about it. I'm pretty sure if you're doing something for the feds, it's for a reason. And you're not going to be singing about it less than a week later. This just goes to, you know, more of the elementary shenanigans coming from the defense. Wing said, promise of a big check. I could see that all day. I could see that. That's crazy. Nikki says cigarettes for sure. Priscilla's asking, was that Mike that kept stuttering? Mike. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about the hearing that just took place? For those of you who are wondering what hearing I mean, there was a appeal for his bond hearing this past Friday. It was streamed for the world to hear. I did a video about it right after. You can find that on my channel. Wing said Don tried to give TMZ info and they turned him down for what I remember. Huh? That is hilarious. Well, whoever it is, I do feel that they are trying to do this to benefit R. Kelly, but this stuff is backfiring all day long. All day long. And not only do we have this BS happening, then you have the YouTube stuff, the protest rallies. It's been documented, or, you know, it's been stated that, and officially stated, that those protests are causing shutdowns at the MCC, causing inmates to be disgruntled, or even more so, specifically at R. Kelly. So, but I don't know. I don't know that I buy that he was even touched in the first place. I don't see that happening. I really don't. He's been there, well over a year. And this is the first we're hearing of this. First things we were hearing is that he's the one threatening people and bossing people around. The same thing he was doing when he was out. I don't see nothing change. Ha! Nikki said it's a Smollett. He pulled the Smollett. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what we calling it, aren't we? Fake pumps. El Good Enough, welcome back. My late nighters. So I don't really have much else to say about this. I don't know that this is going to help him get bond or bail. If anything, I feel like it's going to solidify some of the things the government has already alleged. It's just ridiculous that every single almost day, it seems like there's some new ridiculous news bite regarding this guy. He can't just do his time and, you know, have his trials and do his time. You got to hear about it and see all this stupid stuff jump off. You know, it's ridiculous. But not all prosecutors are out here holding the R. Kellys of the world to task. You know, usually we're not rooting for prosecutors, not really rooting for anybody, honestly, in the court system. But we are rooting for Breonna Taylor. I know that's for a fact. And there was an article, and I couldn't really find it because I waited too late to look for it. But there was an article stating that the prosecutors in Breonna Taylor's case, and this is in Kentucky, that they actually are in fact doing the opposite of what we feel the feds are doing in R. Kelly's case. Word is that they attempted to bribe the guy who they actually arrested. I'm not sure if it was the boyfriend or the person that supposedly was named in the warrant, and if they were mistaken, or Breonna was mistaken her house for this person's. But they want they offered a plea in exchange for him saying that Breonna was working with him. They really just want to implicate Breonna so that they can get the heat off of those police officers who still haven't been charged. From what I understand, there's been a firing and a couple of administrative leaves enacted, but no formal criminal charges. Last I remember, murder was a crime. So I don't know what they're waiting on. I think the feds are looking into it as well as the state police, but they need to do something. It's been long enough. I just think it's pretty disgusting for said prosecutors who are supposed to be on the right side of the law to rather protect the killers in the name of what is the name of? What are they protecting? Are they protecting blue, or are they protect? Because they're definitely not protecting what's right. Let me see what's in the comments. Comments. I went too far back, y'all. Hold on. Please hold. Yes, R.I.P. Breonna. How can she rest in peace when this happened to her? I was reading about, I'm going to share actually what I read about that night. It's heartbreaking. And this is from the New York Times. It says, what happened in Louisville? I said that weird, huh? Louisville. Shortly after midnight on March 13th, Louisville police officers executing a search warrant used a battering ram to enter the apartment of Ms. Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency room technician. The police had been investigating two men who they believed were selling drugs out of a house that was far from Ms. Taylor's home. You hear that? But a judge signed a warrant allowing the police to search Ms. Taylor's residence because the police say they believe one of the men had used her apartment to receive packages. Ms. Taylor had been dating that man on and off for several years, but had recently severed ties with him, according to her family's lawyer. So this was an ex, not the boyfriend that was actually with her when she was killed. It says Ms. Taylor and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, had been in bed, but got up when they heard a loud banging at the door. Mr. Walker said he and Ms. Taylor both called out asking who was at the door. Mr. Walker later told the police he feared it was Ms. Taylor's ex-boyfriend. Here he is popping up again, trying to break in. So I'm guessing now that this is the person they were trying to bribe the prosecutors with the plea, the ex, to implicate Breonna. I read one article that says that he took the plea, and then I read another one that said he turned it down. Assuming that we know all about it, that I'm assuming he turned it down. I think it's disgusting that they did that. It says after the police broke the door off its hinges, Mr. Walker fired his gun once, striking Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly in a thigh. The police responded by firing several shots, striking Ms. Taylor 5 times. One of the 3 officers on the scene, Detective Brett Hankinson, who has since been fired, shot 10 rounds blindly into the apartment. And that is just criminality. And these individuals need to be behind bars. This goes on to say, Mr. Walker told investigators that Miss Taylor coughed and struggled to breathe for at least 5 minutes after she was shot. An ambulance on standby outside the apartment had been told to leave at about an hour before the raid, counter to standard practice. Interesting. Why? Why would they tell them that? Because they maybe want the person to die so they can't speak for themselves? As in the case of Jacob Blake, who survived that shooting in his back, and now he's speaking out. As officers called an ambulance back to the scene to render aid to their colleague, Ms. Taylor was not given any medical attention. So the dude was shot in the thigh. They called the ambulance back for him, but not for Breonna. It says it wasn't until 12:47 a.m., around 5 minutes after the shooting, that emergency personnel realized she was seriously wounded after her boyfriend called 911. He says, I don't know what's happening. Someone kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend. He still didn't know what was going on. This is what he said on the 911 call. Again, it says Ms. Taylor received no medical attention for more than 20 minutes after she was struck. She could have possibly been saved. This is even more damning. Yeah, it says that here. The Jefferson County coroner told the Courier Journal that Ms. Taylor most likely died less than a minute after she was shot. Oh, okay, and could not have been saved. But that's the coroner who works for the county, and we don't believe them either. I don't believe anybody, you guys. I really don't. I believe God. I believe my third eye. I believe my heart sometimes. Okay, let me get back up in here on chat and see what you guys are saying. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Let me put this up. So Rhea is saying, there's a YouTuber who did a video, and she said that the officer who killed George Floyd was murdered. And I immediately looked and Googled, and nothing came up. And I think I saw someone say that it was a rumor. Why do you think you guys would? Why do you guys think they would want that rumor out that he was dead? Do you think they want him to have a fake death so maybe he can live a free life? You know, they can give him a new identity. How else is he going to get out of this? It could have been a whole coup the whole time. But yeah, I heard her say that. That's the second time she gave false information. I think there was another time she said Bill Cosby was given house arrest, and I looked that up. I didn't see that either, unless I'm wrong. Somebody correct me. I don't remember. Nothing came up when I looked for that. Reed, we don't want the names anyway. I thought you did that on purpose. So yeah, you're good. Do I see Wow Wayne in the building? Wow Wayne, welcome back, sir. So yeah, Breonna Taylor just done wrong and still being done dirty, even in her passing. I mean, can she not have some sort of peace? They have done enough. Her family is still suffering. I can't even imagine how her mother must feel, and her family and close friends. They're trying to make her be a criminal. She was working as an EMT, a young lady, building her life, doing what most of us here are trying to do, and that's just have a good life. Oh yeah, I heard that, Ree. I heard her. I heard that whole thing. I was with her. I understood exactly where she was coming from also. Oh, good enough. For me, that lives in Europe is so difficult to take in how the police treat Black people. I think you all should move to Europe. So Europe is that much better, huh? I thought I saw riots in Europe, or was that for us? I thought I saw riots kind of all over the world, but that's good to know. I do hear things about, well, specifically Black women being treated much better, say like Paris. I mean, who wouldn't want to pack up and move to Paris, France? um, you guys are having whole side conversations. I can't keep up with you guys, so I'm just gonna keep on with my little chat here. So yeah, that was heartbreaking about Breonna. You know, you guys, I had printed out the motion, and I totally forgot when I was talking about R. Kelly's thing. But just before closing up Breonna's update, you know, I just want to encourage you guys, if you are on social media, you know, don't be shy about hashtagging her and, you know, saying her name. I think that, you know, we obviously know she's not the only victim of police violence who have lost their lives, the only Black woman, Black person. However, just the fact that, okay, this happened in March, she was asleep when these people came into her home and just shot. You know, when they say, for instance, R. Kelly, they say, well, that could be your husband, your brother. I don't believe that. I don't believe that R. Kelly's case, it can go for any and everybody also. I think it's very specifically tailored to him. So I don't buy that for him, but I do buy that for Breonna, and in the case of Breonna Taylor, because we all sleep, don't we? And a lot of us, most of us are vulnerable to the police busting down a door, doing whatever it is they want. There was no reason or rhyme behind this. There's not, Breonna didn't have mountains of evidence against her and years and decades of allegations that mirrored one another, and payouts and copies of this and digital footprints of that and 100 plus devices and 1,000 plus pages. Breonna didn't have any of that. Breonna had a good job. She had a boyfriend. She was building a life, loving family. She deserved better than that. We all deserve better than that. So I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, I'm in the chat, you guys. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. I know y'all are with me. I know I'm just messing with you guys. I love when you guys chat it up. I like the unity and the camaraderie in the chat. I appreciate all of you. Again, most of you here I've seen here over a long period of time. We got history. So Mom Life Love, welcome back. Are you asking if Breonna had children, Ree? I don't think she did, if that's what you're asking. I really don't. You know, it's hard for me being empathic. I mean, I feel everything. I really do. And I'm double empath. That means I feel people and places. So when things are so sensitive like that, sometimes I have to step away from it. And sometimes I never make my way back to even get into the details. That's why a lot of times I just don't really have details, because I just stepped away from it like, damn, that's messed up. That was wrong. What else is happening? But this right here, I can't leave it. You know, this is something it just breaks my heart. Look at her. She's our sister. Oh, brother. So yeah, shout out to everybody in the replay. Thank you for coming back time and time again, and get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. And if you're in the bushes, I appreciate you also. I do. And for all 5 of you who typically downvote me, I appreciate you too. The time and energy you spend doing that tells me something. But yeah, let me go back to R. Kelly real quick because I wanted to read this motion that was filed for an immediate setting of an evidentiary hearing. And that hearing has now been set for September 8th, which is next Wednesday, I believe. Wait, what's today? Today's the 5th, Sunday the 6th. Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 8th. But so this was filed in the United States District Court of the Northern District of Illinois. I'm sure it's been read on other channels, but this is my first time actually looking at the whole thing. So it says defendant's motion for the immediate setting of an evidentiary hearing for an order requiring the appearance of witnesses at that hearing and to supplement his pending motion for release from custody. It says defendant Robert Kelly, by and through his undersigned counsel, moves this court to immediately set an evidentiary hearing and provides this supplement to his pending bond motion. So they're basically tacking this on to the bond motion that's currently at play in the appeals court, I'm thinking. So they had to also file it in the District of Illinois. It says, number one, as this court is aware, Mr. Kelly filed a renewed motion for bond/release from custody, which is currently being briefed pursuant to this court's order. Number two, however, additional troubling information has come to light that bears directly upon Mr. Kelly's pending motion safety at the Chicago MCC. Okay, so now, you know, his safety is jeopardized. Somebody attacked him. I don't think I mentioned, they said that guy also had a ink pen that I guess he was going to be thrusting into R. Kelly's neck or something like that. Number three, approximately 1 week ago, Mr. Kelly was assaulted at the MCC and sustained injuries. Number four, that incident alone merits Mr. Kelly's immediate release from custody because it further illustrates the inability of the BOP to safely house Mr. Kelly and to allow him to prepare for trial. So do we think it's fair that because he got into a little scuffle, isn't jail filled with fights and horrible things happening to people? I mean, I think we're all pretty clear on the fact that jail, and I don't know if it, you know, the level he's in, isn't he in federal, county? Like, isn't that like one of the softest jails? He's not even in real prison. So what are you saying? Like, he got attacked, he got this little attack. He got this little attack, and they're saying that this is just proof that they can't protect him. I didn't think it was the BOP's job to literally protect him. I mean, he's being housed in of his crimes or his presumptory crimes. They're so heavy that they are keeping him in there. He's a threat. There's threats and coercion and all kinds of stuff happening. But because he got into this little scuffle, they're saying that, you know, this alone should allow him to be released. Forget about COVID. Forget about the fact that we can't meet him, even though they always talk about how they're FaceTiming this guy. So it goes on to say, number five, and I don't want to, let me get Breonna off the screen because she don't need to be dealing with, we don't want to mix her and R. Kelly up at all. All right, Bree. We'll see you later. There we go. This is the one we like. So it goes on. However, more significantly, on September 1st, 2020, the individual who purportedly carried out that assault on Mr. Kelly, Jeremiah Shane Farmer, has now publicly come forward to disclose the fact that MCC personnel encouraged him to carry out that attack on Mr. Kelly. So now they're saying the MCC personnel is against him and they are plotting to hurt him or have him killed. So because he's not safe, because we don't know which personnel or what personnel. So all of a sudden he's been there over a year and now MCC personnel have Aryan guys with F the feds on their forehead with life, probably I think a life sentence or two is now a threat to this guy. Wow. Okay, so it goes on to say it directs us to a filing and an article from the Chicago Sun-Times. There's a link. Okay. So number 6, indeed, according to Mr. Farmer's filing. So Mr. Farmer filed. I'm gonna have to find that and look that up. It says MCC personnel told him, go do it then. Go do it then, referring to attacking Mr. Kelly. Number 7, moreover, it appears that MCC personnel simply followed Mr. Farmer, allowed him to carry out the attack, and then only intervened after Mr. Kelly had already sustained serious injuries. So he sustained serious injuries now? I thought they said he was fine. Why are all the stories so conflicting? Seriously injured, wouldn't that have been like at the top of the headlines of all of the news? I agree, Wings. I think he had put this I think he set this up because he thinks he's so smart. He really does think he is so smart. He thinks he's smarter than the average. So let's see. It goes on. Number 8, accordingly, Mr. Kelly requests that this court immediately set an evidentiary hearing in order to allow Mr. Kelly's counsel and this court to examine Mr. Farmer under oath regarding the facts and circumstances underlying his attack. So this is the guy we're going to believe. This guy he's so credible. He's such an integral, or he's full of integrity. We'll just say that. He's an integral human being. So they want to put him on the stand. So yeah, he got a check for this. He got something. He don't have nothing else to do or lose. If they fall for this, I'm done with Earth, honestly. I'm ready to go to the moon. They have, I think they have flights, chartered flights now. It says number 9, Mr. Farmer. Wait, let me go back. Okay, so they wanted an immediate hearing, which is now one is set for Tuesday. They want to examine him under oath. It says, including but not limited to the role that any MCC personnel played in that attack. So they want him to finger point. So imagine this guy has probably had a lot of problems with MCC personnel, don't you think? Do you think that this guy may have even MCC personnel that he wants thrown under the bus? So he's going to be pointing people out and they're going to believe him. I said it first, Wayne. I said it first. Go back to my live, a couple lives back, baby. Let's not get it twisted. And you know this is all fun and games. Don't take all this joshing seriously, you guys. Not about R. Kelly, though. I'm dead serious about that. And this thing goes on here. Number 9, Mr. Farmer now has no basis to assert his Fifth Amendment rights in light of the fact that he has already waived them and Mr. Farmer represents himself. This just gets more curious and more curious and more curious. Number 11, in sum, Mr. Kelly is an individual who has never been convicted of any crime. Oh my God, are they still going on with that? He's not been convicted. Does that mean he is not guilty, that he has not done it? Or does that mean he just hasn't been caught and held accountable? Why do they keep saying that? So number 10, in addition, Mr. Kelly's counsel, the MCC Chicago be required to produce for examination under oath all personnel involved in that incident, including but not limited to those generally and specifically referenced in Mr. Farmer's filing. So is this hearing going to be public? Because this is the one to be at, it sounds like. Oh, okay, yeah, here we go. So again, in sum, Mr. Kelly is an individual who's never been convicted of any crime, who presents no risk of flight. They say these things without anything to back it up, and that's been their problem. Who has been housed in virtual lockdown conditions at the MCC, who has been denied any meaningful interaction with his counsel for months, and who has been denied the ability to assist in his defense and prepare for trial. They say the same shit, and it's new day. Number 12, enough is enough, they say. Now the allegations are that those housing him may be putting him at risk of death or physical harm. So first it was the protesters, and now this is crazy. The MCC personnel is responsible for setting this attack up. Okay. Number 13, to the extent this court does not believe Mr. Kelly should be immediately released from custody with the conditions already proposed by his counsel and pretrial services, then this court should order that an evidentiary hearing be immediately held in order to allow the examination under oath of Mr. Farmer and all relevant MCC Chicago personnel. Wherefore, Mr. Kelly, by and through his undersigned counsel, respectfully request the entry of an order, either number 1, granting Mr. Kelly immediate release from custody under the conditions of previously proposed by counsel, or number 2, holding as soon as possible an evidentiary hearing to allow the examination under oath of all persons and for such other and further relief as is appropriate. So they're saying either or. So obviously they're not immediately granting him release, right? So that got shot down. That is a loss. So now they took the option of holding, and that is, like I said, the one to be at, I'm sure. I'd love to be a fly on that wall. I need to go. We need to find out if that's being streamed somewhere. Probably not, though, because it's federal, right? But I thought the appeals court was federal. So which one is it? Wow, that's just kind of crazy. So yeah, the notice of motion was filed the next day on the 5th. It says, please take notice that on Tuesday, September 8th, 2020, at 9:30 a.m., defendant, through his counsel, shall appear before the Honorable Judge Leenenweber. So he's actually going to appear in court. And it says here, at least, or maybe it'll be video, because we're still in COVID. COVID era is still going on. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I can't believe they had the balls to do that. They had the balls to do this. This was an extreme measure, a very extreme measure. And that just says how desperate these people are. And maybe it's R. Kelly. He's desperate. He's probably losing his shit right now. Mom Life Love said this story won't help him. Very simply and very plainly. I agree. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Priscilla said he's trapped in the MCC. That's his closet now, huh? JC said Greenberg is going to burn some bridges. He's making enemies that he will have to deal with for the rest of his career. That's an interesting perspective. Yeah. Wing said maybe the staff just hates him. You know, he's got to be a huge pain in the ass. Wings, you really think the staff put this man on R. Kelly? Priscilla said if he wants to continue practicing, he'd probably write the RK screenplay movie. Oh, because he owns the rights, right? That's what we found out. He signs everything over to Greenberg to pay him, so he can pay him. And so that, to me, I don't know. I just, I continue to talk about the dark side of this, where, this guy, he's prone to making suicide threats, and I do see that dark side coming out with regard to him. And for him to give if he did sign all his stuff away like that, that just says to me he doesn't plan on being around. And it also says that Greenberg and them are going to really, really break that cash cow wide open if that happens. Imagine he signed all that over and then he dies. They probably want him gone, off. A lot of people are better off, but You didn't hear that from me. Mom said releasing him won't help him. I agree. Yeah, JC. JC said, where was this attention when somebody smuggled out a letter from Kelly? The illiterate one that managed to write it. Exactly. Smuggling letters out, using unauthorized cell phones. And I thought that the cell phone usage, the unauthorized cell phones, was MCC personnel. So isn't that sound like MCC personnel is on good terms with R. Kelly? Does it make sense that they would put this guy on him? And I don't even know why I'm asking. This is like ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. It's stupid. And just the same old same just stuff. Just a different spin on it. Desperation, failure, low vibration. I mean, this stuff is just real icky. Ooh, wow, Wayne. Are we calling out my people? Where is Mimi? I didn't see Mimi come in. Hey, Mimi, I didn't see you. Why are they questioning you, Mimi? Don't mess with Mimi, Wayne. Mimi's one of my day ones. I heard you guys is grown man saying he didn't mind him having bail. Isn't that kind of the same? He don't want him in jail or something to that effect. Isn't that kind of the same? I don't want him to get bail. He needs to stay where he's at. I heard grown man say he don't mind him getting bail as long as he stay away from Joy. But my thing is, what about the other girls and women that he's prone to hurt? Why is it only about Joy? I think that's a bit weird. But anyway, what's happening, guys? I'm so excited to I don't know. I just like being here and sharing information and getting information from you guys. I think it's a pretty cool thing, even though YouTube can be pretty just a lot sometimes. It does have its pluses. Last thing I want to touch on before I head up out of here, as we head into the 1 hour mark, we have a new supermoon coming up in Virgo. It's supposed to be the 17th of September. And generally right before these new moons and after, we start getting the effects. A supermoon is a very, very powerful moon. And this is a time to plant new seeds and a time to set a new intention or new intentions if you have more than one. I understand he's incredibly worried about Joy Wings, but aren't we overlooking the fact that this guy is not, I mean, as much as I think we're all worried about her. I'm worried about her. I do see things that I don't want to see, when I have my moment of clarity with regard to her. But at the same time, aren't we here to speak and protect, as I would say, all girls and all women, and not just say, oh, well, he should be out because, well, as long as he's not with Joy. What about the next girl and Azriel and this one and that one? I mean, there's a lot of people he shouldn't be out, and there's a lot of victims, a lot of witnesses. So I don't know. That's the only thing that I really, when I caught that, the first thing that came to mind was, well, what about the other girls and what about the other women? So, I'm just, stating my opinion. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, Wings. Exactly. Let me put that up on the screen. That's right. You don't need to get out at all. Oh, yeah, Ree? Sermon on what? Planting new seeds? Good enough. I've spoken on this. I see, honestly, and just what I was saying earlier in this broadcast about the whole suicide pact thing. I do, I've seen this before in card readings. Early on, when I was doing readings, the cards would say that Azrael would go home, but Joy would not. And I always got also dark messages about her and him. I know murder, suicide came up before. And YouTube is probably going to just be like, girl, you just be doing too much. I hope they don't, punish me for saying these things. But I mean, I'm just being honest. This is the stuff I see when I'm tapped in. Like can't help what I see. So I just, I pray that she gets the healing and help that she needs. And it doesn't necessarily mean that she has to be with her parents. I don't think it necessarily means she has to go, quote unquote, home. But there's got to be a safe place for her, whether people, a person, organization. Yeah, that reading, I need to get back to my readings. I spoke on that too. Today is Sunday too, and this is the day I said I was going to do one. I just got to figure out on who. Am I going to still stick on this topic? Do we need a refresher, or am I going to do a new person? Are we going to do the elections, Trump versus Biden and Kamala Harris? So many things going on. Yeah, it sure was beforehand. Cam, you're right. I'll be on top of stuff. Y'all, I'm an underdog here. And I feel that I'm slept on, but it's all good. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So back to this new something that's very important about this time period is for us not to lose sight of our freedom to choose, our freedom of choice. And that goes from the everyday small decisions, what you're going to eat for breakfast, whether you're going to drink tea versus coffee or water versus soda, the little things. We have freedom of choice as well as the big things in life. And this is something we have to stay conscious of as we are making these decisions, that it is a choice. I think that we take for granted the fact that we have this freedom because it's just the way we live, right? We wake up and we start making decisions right away, But I think it's very important to be conscious of the fact that these decisions, small and big, are pretty important when it comes to our overall lives. And we want to make sure we're conscious of the fact that we do have a choice, because sometimes the choices we make come from fear, a lot of times actually, and those choices usually don't serve us well. So it's always good to just stay aware. I don't have to pick this because I can choose this way, or I can do that. You know what I mean? It's called conscious thinking, and this is a time period where you really need to tap into that and just just be aware every day, aware of your thinking, so you're better able to control it. Wouldn't you rather be in control of your thinking than have someone else be in control of it? Because if you're not in control of your thinking, someone else is in control of it. Whether it's, someone in your household, someone in your family, someone in maybe even a government entity. This time period is the collapsing of the old. It's continuing. This has been happening, collapsing of the old and a new rebuilding of things. The supermoon represents big thinking, it's a big pull to the earth. So that means it's a time for big thinking and big horizons. It says that, just read my notes. Jupiter is, I can't even read my notes. Okay, so it's being squared with Mercury, and what that means, that definitely means big things popping. And the fact that Neptune and Pisces are opposing the sun and the moon, it should be helping us move away from anxiety And it also means secrets being revealed, more secrets, because that's what 2020 has been the whole time, is being revealing secrets. So this period is just more of that, but it's all for us to be using our imagination. I know, Miss Kim, we were talking about writing. The thing you were talking to me about. This is the time right now. This is the time for using your imagination and dreaming big and having big visions. Some of you may want to, if you haven't already, started a vision board. I know I've spoken before about my book that I still haven't posted. I said I was going to put a picture of, which I haven't, but I have a book, and it's just like a vision board, but it's just blank pages where I kind of paste stuff and draw stuff and stuff like that. And I go back and revisit it, and it's very powerful. Thoughts are always more powerful when they're written down. But yeah, this is the time. It's a future oriented time to think about what's next. It's a whole new world coming. That's why all this stuff is going on now, because things are breaking down. And that's all for a newness that's coming. A newness, and that newness is also going to be represented in unity consciousness. You see all these protests. I know today out here in LA on the 110 freeway, they said both sides of the freeway were shut down today due to protesting. And that's unity consciousness. This is people coming together to make a change. It's a very powerful time, a very creative time, and it's all God energy. It's a huge shift. So I very much encourage you to take advantage of the energy. Any ideas? I know that in my last broadcast about Virgo season, it was saying to not really a good time to start new projects, but rather finish up ones that you've been working on, or maybe even cut some loose that you are not you're not really going to move forward with. But following this, it's time to create. It's time to make new. It's time to, carry out some dreams, set and accomplish some goals. Kim said, I started a vision board. Why are you saying, see, y'all, I didn't tell her I did a vision board? Oh, because we in sync like that? Is that what you mean? Mimi, Goddess, you think Trump is going to pardon Maxwell? See, they are allergies saying his numbers are up. Allergy. I don't know what that word. So you're asking me if I don't know who. Oh, if you think he's gonna. Oh my God, what is going on out here? And I live on a small street, believe it or not. I know it's noisy in the background. At midnight, it's 12:16 here. All kinds of activity going on. Let's see. So you're talking about Giselle Maxwell, who was the pimp for Epstein. Do I think he's going to pardon her? You know what? I have my cards right here. Trump, huh? Let's see. Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't think so, but he's just foolish enough to do something like that. I think he would want to stay very far away from the Epstein situation. I don't see him doing that. I didn't even realize that was something he was trying to do, or that it was in talks of. That's kind of ridiculous. Oh, Kim is so sweet. Let me put this up. I never stop praying for us either, and Jenny, no matter what. This is just a beautiful thing. I love love. And that's the other thing too. We got to lead with love. I know it's hard sometimes, but love is just that energy that it wins every time. It really does. I mean, people say, oh, love hurts. Love don't hurt. That ain't love. It's not love. It doesn't. I'm shuffling these cards. I'm going to see something. So Trump, I got the King card. So I guess that represents him. I'm going to have to do a live where I show the cards, or at least do a video where I can show the cards. What's Trump up to next? What's next going on with Trump? We need to get him up out of here. Okay, well, the Princess of Cups fell out. That could represent Ghislaine. Let's see what else comes out. Princess of Cups, She's sipping on a cup in the moonlight, and that could represent secrets. So yeah, I think that does mean her. Let's see. Ooh. Whole stack of cards fell. I see the Nine of Swords, which is somebody who's troubled, who can't sleep, who is carrying heavy burdens. Nine of Swords. So that probably is her. What's next? The Justice card fell. The Justice card. So I'm gonna just say that she's gonna get justice. I think she's gonna go to jail. She's not getting out. I don't see her getting pardoned. That's for sure. Yep. All right, all right, all right. And the last card that popped up was the Five of Pentacles, and that typically means out in the cold, poverty. You know, like meaning just not in a good place. Spiritually inept, like you're walking through, you know, like you're walking through a fire or even a blizzard, but your blessings are behind you because you aren't paying attention. You didn't recognize them when they were there. That's what this card typically means. So losing blessings because you didn't even appreciate what you had when you had it. So now you got to deal with it. So, oh, Priscilla, the third card was Justice. It's all good. Thank you, though. I appreciate you trying to recap that. I didn't even realize you were doing that. Yeah, these cards, these are my day ones. I've had these cards for a couple decades. Right after my husband passed, you know, I was looking for answers. I went to a bookstore and these cards fell to my feet. I had no idea about any cards, and it just took the years for us to get to know each other, but they are never let me down. I give really good readings. I think that's all I got for tonight, you guys. It's just over an hour. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this. I appreciate you guys coming through. Hit the like button if you haven't. Thank you to you in the bushes and in the replay. I want you guys to remember to protect your energy. That's very important. And also, always, women, we're not only protecting our peace, but we're protecting our WAP, right? Because nobody else, who else is going to look out for us if not us? Oh, thank you, Miracle. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully, you know, we'll see you next time because I'm out.